Good evening, Dr. Powell. My name is William Dickerson. I'm a student of yours at Southern University. I'm in the graduate program. My major is supply chain management. My minor is human resources. I would like to discuss Chapter 11, developing and managing products. New products, a product that is new to the world, the market, to people, the producer, the seller, or people. And a combination of these are very important. It's important with new products that you take your time as the person that produces it or the company that came up with the product, take their time and explain to the customers, explain to the world, make the world feel comfortable, make people feel secure when dealing with these new products. You got to create an entire new market. For example, when Gatorade was created, they created a new market for Gatorade. Gatorade had its own market. It was very important because it was made by students in Florida University. They had to take their time and figure out a way by using it and not expecting to make any money from the product in the beginning. But as of current right now, Gatorade has came up with a new cap for their smart water, and they call it smart water cap, smart cap water. And what it does, it treats and it traces the, I guess, the hydration levels in certain individuals, and you could tell by the way people drink the hydration levels that they have in in their product. So with new products, you have to have ingenuity, creativity, diversity within the product, and you have to just commonly be smart. I think it's very important with new products to take a blind man's approach when producing these products. Most people should take a straight line of paper and just figure out what they want to do, how do they want to solve this problem, and what is the purpose for them solving this product. With new products, a new product has to be in its own category. So it's going to be the smallest category. It won't have any products to go against if it's a new product. You will create brand X, brand Z, and other brands to come after that product to figure that these people will make a better product than what you and your team has created. In addition to that, new products like these products, which the firm has predicted and tried to make precisely offer and allow anybody to enter the established market, is not really a market. So at that time, it's very important to kind of, I guess, hold on to your ideas, not really have it explained, but it's also kind of dangerous because you can hardly tell who's a customer and who's somebody that's coming for conflict, because everybody's going to be a customer at that current time. So you have to take your time when developing these products, paying attention to these products, being in the forefront of these products, and getting ahead of the curve. I believe getting ahead of the curve is very important, because if you're ahead of the curve, you should be able to protect your investment, protect your new product, hold on to your product. I think the whole team that's working on the product has to be very, I would say, charismatic, like a leader. Each person needs to be a leader. They have to have this project, and they have to have some type of grit for this product. They have to have some type of love and protection that they're willing to do to keep this product and make sure this product gets whole. Because basically, it can be your livelihood. It could be your breath line. It could be your financial stability with making this product a success. Because if it's a success, you might move on to another company if you don't stay with that company. But better yet, you can have the reputation of saying, I designed product AB, and product AB is successful. So in addition to making sure that this property and this product is successful, you can also create new product lines, improvements on revisions on existing product lines. And with that happening, you can better the expectations of certain type of industries. It could be a product that's going into an industry that is behind the curve, and this might put them into a new dimension, a new function, a new breath of fresh air into this product or this industry. Some of these new products will recreate industries. It will change the way people think about industries. It might even change the aspect of respect that certain industries bring, certain industries have towards one another. So I believe in chapter 11, developing and managing products is very important. And I'm going to get a little bit further into developing and managing products. We're going to go further along with the development of the development of the products. Improvements or revisions on existing products is very important. I could take example of products I see when I go into Lowe's Home Improvement. Lowe's Home Improvement has lawnmowers, and a revision or improvement in a lawnmower would be you have battery operated lawnmowers now. And instead of using gas, you'll have a lawnmower that have a battery. The only downfall to it is you might need more than one battery to cut a yard, because the battery might not become sufficient to cut a whole yard. However, you are cutting down on gas and the carbon footprint within the world. So people have devised a plan to reinvent the wheel, or reinvent the lawnmower system. And the whole product line has a weed eater, a blower, and a lawnmower that works off a battery. And there's numerous brands such as Cobalt, Green Earth, and so many others that have battery operated systems that all work with the same battery. However, different functions and totalities and utilization of certain tools that come about with working. So you could see a business like Lowe's that would actually carry certain things to help make brands better for people, make people's lives more comfortable. They would actually ask manufacturers to come about ways to make things better existing for clients, which is their customers. They will also, with that happening, reposition product lines. So a product line that might have had a subpar gas lawnmower might reposition themselves to have a better product line with the battery operated lawnmower. This will also create lower priced products for people to receive and use. With lower priced products, it would also move certain companies with aspects that maybe they didn't have the potential or the supply chain. From me coming from a supply chain background, they might not have had the supply chain management background to get to these certain products, to make their products a little cheaper. But with them redefining and reinventing a simple product, making it more accessible, they have leveled the playground, and they also have leveled the field with the system that they have now. So all the big boys, and not use that quote unquote, all the other competitors are now at a level playground because the game has been redefined and the industry has been redefined. And another thing we could also talk about is new product strategy. You should have a good strategy when you come with a new product line. It links the new product line to development process. What are the objectives in marketing department, the business unit, the corporation unit? All these people have to be in line with one another when a new product comes in strategy. You have to have a commonality with all these different departments in one business. So a new business that comes about on the scene would be very important. They would have to have a commonality and a function. So when they are programming and going about a system for the strategy for this new product, they would all be on one accord. If you're not on one accord, it will be confusion, because you might have one pulling a little further than the other one, while one other one is pulling not as fast or not as hard, but like they need to be in that department. So the business unit, the corporation unit, the design unit, the marketing unit, even the R&D developers, the employees, the distribution people, the ones that oversee and recon on competitors, they also have to be on one accord. I guess you would have them sit in an idea screening meetings. You would have them pitch ideas. You would have the marketing people pitch to the designers, the web developers. Everybody would have to be in these meetings. And idea screening would be very important. I guess you would run all ideas by everybody to see how their influence or how their traction would help the product be a little better. I would figure out that this new product strategy would have to be a success if you want the product to be a success, because we have seen that some products are excellent and they're good for business, they're good for industry, they're good for people, they make people's lives simple, they make it less communicated and less conglomerated. However, the business strategy was not good, the product fell through, and it didn't happen. So business analysts are very important. That's the second stage of it. The screening of the process, the preliminary ideas, the demand calls, the sales. Is it a market for this product? The development is also, that's a stage in when product development, the process, the prototype is developed. Just for example, with automobiles, you have so many prototypes that didn't make it. It wasn't feasible to bring the vehicle out. Wasn't a demand for the vehicle. Maybe it was certain parts of that vehicle that would made it impossible to mass produce this automobile. So a lot of vehicles, sometimes we never get to meet them because they don't make it past the prototype stage, and you would never see it again. It's destroyed, so you can't see it. You don't know what it is. It's just something that stays within the company. So it's a very important thing if some things can get past prototype stage. That's the screening part. Development stage is very important. That's where the prototypes are. This stage is important because of product development process, and it has to coexist with the marketing strategy. If you can't market it, if it's not, I guess, feasible to the owners, the chairman, the board, it might not get past the marketing stage. If marketing doesn't feel it, they might go against you and say this is a no-go. It's a waste of time. Simultaneously, product development and team-oriented is a team-oriented approach between marketing and product development. If it's not together, it might not become. So it has to be a team market. I think everybody has to have their foothold in this organization when a new product is developed. It has to be everybody's baby. So it has to be team marketing. This is like an introduction to a product, and all these people from different areas have to work into this product. If they don't work into this product, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. You have to have reactions, and you have to write down people's reactions to the product, what they feel about it, how they feel about it, what it makes them feel like. Would it make them lose any sleep to be on this team? Would it be complicated? What's the dilemmas that's involved in it? It's so many different things about it. It's almost to a point where I guess a team would get together and talk themselves out of doing this and guess weighing the bad from the good to see what is the purpose of doing it. Is it a purpose? Is it a willing purpose to suffice? Also, you would have simulated lab market testing. And that's when you have a lab that'll work on something. Like maybe you were developing a gaming system and you would have a couple of kids play with the systems. Is this feasible? Do you guys like this? What do you feel about it? How does it make you feel? Do you feel good? Do you feel that's something you would want to represent? Is it something you would share? So you would have to pay attention to certain things like that. Some of these companies, I don't think they really pay attention into that. They just run with the name, i.e., look at the video game industry from the 90s. From the 80s to the 90s to almost the early 2000s, you had Atari. And Atari phased out. Then Nintendo came about. They had a run. They had a strong run. Then Sega came out with a certain system that really didn't do nothing. Then they came out with another system. And then after that, they came out with the Genesis. It was like 3 systems before they came out with that system. And after that, they came out with another system. And then Atari tried to come back with another system that was well developed, but not marketable. It just didn't latch on to people. Maybe it came out ahead of its time. Maybe it came out a little too late. It was almost like the kids didn't really like the system. And maybe they just didn't feel that it was worth getting into or worth buying or spending the money. And it was called the Atari Jaguar, so it didn't stay long. And a lot of stores that would carry these products, like KB Toys, they went out of business. So it's a very finicky thing. All these things have to meet, all these things have to gel for a system to be great, for certain things to come out. Commercialization of that product is very important. The decision to market a product, what color to make the product, what kind of container to put the product in, how does the product smell, how does the product feel in people's hands, how do people feel about the product. All that has to be marketed, all that has to be brought into conversation. Innovation of a product, the procedure that it goes about to come out, the procedure of marketing the product, the process of bringing the product out, potential adopters of the product, potential marketers of the product. Who we going to market this to? Who we going to give this product to so they can represent? What famous person we're going to put on our back and prop them up so they can follow through with our product? You know, the adoption, diffusion, the adaptation of innovation that spreads. It diffuses within cultures. So another thing that's important about products is the product life cycle. What type of life cycle will it have? Can we figure out, will it be a 5-year run? Will it be a 20-year run? PlayStation, Sony with their video game system has been on a 22-year run with video game systems, not stopping anytime soon. So you have to have an idea of what it is. A certain brand might be out of its product life cycle, and they won't develop anything else for it. They'll just let it phase out and die, and then it goes into this nostalgia stage. And a lot of products that come out now, really, especially with the electronics, I guess the high demand is so hard to get the product that they've actually created businesses for people where they have connections to get the product, and they raise up the price to where they can make the product. They might double the price because they know you can't receive the product no other way. You won't be able to get the product. It's no way possible. You can pre-order, you still won't receive it. So instead of paying $500, you might have to pay $1,200 for the product, depending on how bad you want it. I think that's bad. That was bad marketing on certain companies, i.e. Sony. With the PlayStation 5, they should have developed it a little better. They should have came about saying that, hey, we won't put it out till we can make sure everyone is in the store. We're not going to allow people to scam people to buy these products. We're not going to make sure people are creating businesses where they buy a product and it's almost like a shoe. Person would buy a shoe and sell it higher. It's basically what the PlayStation is now. And they're kind of hard to get, and a lot of kids want them. And you might want to buy one for your kid, and there's no way to find them. I.e. the same with the Xbox. It's high demand with less supply. So another thing a company would have to pay attention to is the economy. That's very important. Inflation. Inflation is on us. Who is to say the bubble won't bust when you get your product in? You might have a product that you developed. It's in the store. It's accessible. But inflation has made the economy to where people don't have the money to buy the product. So it might shorten the product life cycle. Your growth stage might be shortened. Your product might stay in the introduction stage. It might even not even reach the growth stage, maturity stage, or the decline stage. So you have to pay attention to that. It's a very sensitive subject. I believe companies should take a very important look into that. If I was a company, I would probably not outsource this, but I would make sure I'd have somebody that's in the advanced stage of their career, the beginning stage of their career. I would have a team of different people without prejudices and confusion to get in their way. I would vet them real good and try to see where their mind is and how stable is their mind, because it's very important in this stage, because if you don't have it together, you can waste time and money. And also, if you drop the ball, another company can see where you fumbled, take an idea what your product is, depending on the patent system, or reinvent the wheel with your product, make a better product, and create a business that you can't control. And a lot of companies do that. They'll take somebody's product and, hey, he just didn't have the opportunity to market that product. Let me see if I could get this company to buy back the product, put it under my name, and I make a go with it. So it's a very important thing with product development that you make sure you know what you're doing, dot your I's, cross your T's, have everybody on the same accountability reasoning situation with your business. Product development is very important. So if you don't have all these things in order, working and coexisting together, you can have failure, and you can also plan to have confusion, plan to have heartbreaks and setbacks also. So I would tell anybody with development, product development, it's very important that you know what you're doing. It's very important that the team knows what they're doing. Everybody should have their specific tasks at hand. And at the end of the day, whenever you describe it's time to go about and reaccount and reassess the whole situation and put in everybody's input. I feel that's another thing. Nobody's above not saying what they feel or how they feel. And a lot of companies that have open door policies where everybody from the entry level person to CEO executive has a say in something, because that young person that works there might know something that the product developer might not know. He'd be like, maybe change this because the youth will not receive it, or take this color away from it. I feel companies that don't let young people that work there have a say-so have fallen by the wayside, i.e. IBM. That's a prime example of a company that didn't take keen to the youth. You have to have a connection to the youth, especially with product development, because the dinosaurs will pass and the youth will take over. So if you don't push ingenuity, innovation within your workers, you won't have innovation. Even if you do have a new product, it has to be innovative. It has to be crisp. It has to be precise. It has to be just. So when developing a product, innovation is important. It is the key. Diffusion into all groups, all aspects of that business is a key. You should have marketing, development, financials. All these people have to be in on this idea for their own say-so, for their own just. I believe in paying attention to all those things, and it will make a good product. And that's my interpretation of this chapter. This is what I received of the chapter. This is the knowledge I received, and I hope it was influential to others that will see this program. Thank you very much.